Northern Light Webcasting Network, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking Pregame, a look at today's Colfax Vikings game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to Viking Pregame. Rick Olson here in the NLWN-TV studios, and we're getting ready to bring you Colfax Viking football. Tonight, the 1-3 Vikings, who are 0-2 in the Dun St. Croix Conference, will travel to Spring Valley to take on the 3-1 Spring Valley Cardinals, who are 2-0 in the Dun St. Croix. The Vikings are looking to return to the form they showed at the beginning of the season and get back on the winning track following their 35-7 defeat at the hands of the Boyceville Bulldogs last Friday. Meanwhile, the Cardinals are looking to remain undefeated in the Dun St. Croix and in first place following their 27-12 victory over Glenwood City last Friday. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Colfax Vikings and the Spring Valley Cardinals. Then we'll get Coach Joe Berenic's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Then Dan and I will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game from Spring Valley. All that coming up right after this timeout as you're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. Tonight, the Vikings will try to return to form following their loss last week to the Boyceville Bulldogs by taking on the 3-1 Spring Valley Cardinals. Now, in that game against Boyceville last week, the Viking offense struggled to sustain drives, only to have a promising-looking drive get turned away by small mistakes that would put the Vikings behind the sticks and stall the drive. In the third quarter, things started to turn around somewhat for the Vikings when Cade Anderson picked up a fumble and was off to the races, finally getting caught from behind around the 25-yard line.
Roll the splitter, ball's loose, and off to the races go the Vikings! It's Anderson, and he gets caught from behind at the 25-yard line.
Colfax defense comes up big.
On the next Boyceville drive, Dylan Hedela caught a look what I found interception and put the Vikings into the red zone.
Olsen drops back, looks over the middle, intercepted by the Vikings. He's down across the 20-yard line, or down near the 20-yard line. Dylan Hedela with the interception.
Yeah, not sure if it was underthrown or if Hedel had just stepped right in the path, but good turnover.
A short time later, Asher Pekka found the end zone with sheer determination and keeping his feet moving.
I do a little play action, get out here to Eli Ralph. He's one-on-one.
And again, right up the middle, Pekka driving, and into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. And there's no yellow on the field this time, so this one's going to stand.
In last Friday's game, the Vikings were led on the ground by Asher Pekka, who carried the ball 12 times for 66 yards and an average of 5.5 yards per carry. In the air, quarterback Brian Tuchel completed 2 of 2 passes for 18 yards with no touchdowns and no interceptions for a 104.2 quarterback rating. Defensively, the Vikings were led by Asher Pekka and Christian Ebert. Pekka had 10 total tackles, while Ebert contributed 6. Dylan Hedela also led the way with a forced fumble and an interception. For the Spring Valley Cardinals in last week's win over Glenwood City, leading the way on the ground was Diego Schmidt, who carried the ball 19 times for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns for an average of over 6 yards per carry. He was followed by Cade Stashik, who carried the ball 15 times for 85 yards and a touchdown for an average of nearly 6 yards per carry. So far this season, Schmidt leads the Cardinals with 62 carries for 305 yards and 5 touchdowns, with an average of nearly 5 yards per carry. Stashik has carried the ball 26 times for 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an average of nearly 8 yards per carry. Quarterback Wyatt Gabaronski has completed 5 of 14 passes for 92 yards and no touchdowns, with only 1 interception for a quarterback rating of 29.5. Gabaronski's favorite target this season has been Stashik, who has 4 receptions for 83 yards. Jamison Bauer is the Cardinals' leading tackler with 30 total tackles, including 3 tackles for loss. He's assisted by Schmidt, who has 28 total tackles and 3 tackles for loss, as well as a forced fumble. Now, thus far this season, the Vikings are being led on the ground by Asher Pekka with 304 yards on 52 carries for an average of nearly 6 yards per carry. Through the air, Brian Tuchel is 7 for 18 for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns for a quarterback rating of 108.8. Tuchel's leading receivers so far this year are Theo Hovde, who has caught 3 passes for 122 yards and a touchdown, as well as Asher Pekka, who has 3 receptions for 33 yards. Defensively, leading the way for the Vikings is Cameron Molina with 20 total tackles, including 3 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. He's followed by Asher Pekka, who has 16 total tackles with a sack, Nick Jensen with 16 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and a fumble recovery, as well as Christian Ebert with 15 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a sack. Now, coming up next, I caught up with Coach Joe Baranek at practice a little earlier this week, and we'll get his perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Then Dan and I will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game from Spring Valley, Wisconsin. All that coming up right after this timeout as you're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with Viking head coach Joe Baranek. And Coach, last Friday, the Vikings had to deal with, well, let's see what Dan put it as, too much Boyceville, dropping a 35-7 decision to the Bulldogs. Your comments about that game?
That's a good football team we played on Friday night. Physical and fast, so give them credit for what they do. I thought we played pretty well overall. We're right in there late in the third quarter in the 27 game, and just finding ways to win. That's what it comes down to. I think we've gotten to the point where we're competitive in games now, and now it's trying to find ways to string it all together.
Once again, it seemed as though it was the little mistakes at critical times that were the biggest problem for the Vikings. What can the Vikings do to clean this up?
Yeah, it's just repetition and practice. We're right up against that glass ceiling. Kind of been telling the kids that this week, and now it's time to break through. Good football teams find ways to win and overcome those little things. So it's just finding those ways and finding ways to get the kids to recognize that and believe in themselves just a little bit more.
Now this week, the difficulty doesn't let up as the Vikings have to deal with the Spring Valley Cardinals. The Cardinals are currently unbeaten in the conference, and they're scoring an average of 27 points a game while giving up only 12. What do we need to know about the Cardinals?
Yeah, that's just they're kind of the standard of the conference for sure. Kind of what everybody's trying to mimic, trying to chase, and they're efficient. They know what they do, and they do it well. So nothing will surprise us on Friday night, but we've got to come out and be physically and mentally sound.
Now, offensively, the Cardinals rely primarily on the running game. They're gaining about 220 yards rushing per game compared to only 25 yards passing per game. To me, this seems like it might be a good game to load up the box on defense and force the Cardinals a little bit out of their element. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a good game plan coming in this week, and it helps that we're similar offensively now to what Spring Valley does. Of course, we're trying to get to their efficiency level, but in practice, just kind of trying to get those looks to the kids and trying to understand that if we read our keys, good things will happen.
Of course, if you load up the box, you run the risk of giving up the big play through the air, even though they're infrequent. It doesn't take many if they're all big ones. What do you do with your secondary to keep that from happening?
Right, just don't get beat deep, right? When in doubt, get depth and come down when you get that proper read on the run. So nothing over the top on us, and just reading our keys, just the old adage, right? We keep at it and keep practicing and get some repetition, and I think we should be ready for Friday.
Now, last Friday, were there any injuries we should be aware of?
None that should pop up on Friday. Just some nicks and bumps and bruises, but nothing that isn't normal football wear and tear at this point. We're right in the middle of the season already, so a lot of kids just getting looked at by the trainer, but it should be good to go for Friday.
Well, Coach Baranek, good. Thank you for joining us today on Coach's Corner, and let's hope the Vikings can get back to those positive efforts that they showed earlier in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Rick.
Coming up, more Viking pregame.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Stay tuned. There's more Viking pregame coming up right after this brief timeout. You're listening to Viking pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
All out on three. 1, 2, 3. All out. 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 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Bring it down.
Welcome back to Viking pregame. Tonight, the Vikings look to show some consistency so they can get right back on track following last week's loss to the Boyceville Bulldogs, while the Cardinals hope to remain undefeated in conference play after their 27-12 win over Glenwood City. The key to tonight's game for the Vikings is, can they eliminate those pesky little mistakes that have stalled promising drives and caused big problems for the Viking offense, and has also caused the Viking defense to give up some big strike plays? So it all adds up to some exciting high school football action right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Now, in just a few moments, I'll join our broadcast crew at Spring Valley, and we'll have all the play-by-play action for you coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV by calling 715-563-1749.
You've been listening to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings game. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking football.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Colfax Viking football is on the air. The Northern Light Webcasting Network, in conjunction with Colfax High School, proudly presents today's Colfax Vikings game. And now, onto the stadium for coverage of today's Colfax Vikings game.
And good evening and welcome to Spring Valley, Wisconsin. We're sitting right under the big earthen dam, and we had some rain today, Dan, so I don't see any leaks over there. I think we're going to be okay.
I sure hope not.
And we have the Colfax Vikings taking on the Spring Valley Cardinals, and a couple of changes from what we were talking about in Viking pregame. We were talking about Wyatt Govoronsky being the starting quarterback for the Spring Valley Cardinals, and that's not the case tonight because Wyatt Govoronsky is on a pair of crutches in the end zone, so he's not going to be playing tonight. In fact, the starting lineups, we don't have positions here, but we do have the starting lineups for Spring Valley. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, they're going to go with sophomore, number 3, Tanner Dykus. Junior, number 6, Caden Robelia. Senior, number 8, Justin Riley. Sophomore, number 10, Cade Stasek. Junior, number 25, Diego Schmidt. Senior, number 40, Cole Steinmeier. Senior, number 52, Walter Holstead. Senior, number 53, Mac Parsons. Junior, number 67, Jack Madison. Junior, number 68, Joe Anderson. And junior, number 76, Landon Jorgensen.
Okay, and that's the starting offense for the Spring Valley Cardinals. For the Vikings, as far as I can tell, it's probably going to be the regular crew. At quarterback will be Brian Tuchel, and the running back will be Asher Pekka, and wide receivers Eli Ralph and Colton Hoffman. Also as a wingback, we have Cade Anderson. Also out there as a wingback, we have Theo Hovde. And it looks like the teams are getting ready for the national anthem as the clock is winding down here at Spring Valley. Want to apologize to those of you who are getting a lot of buffering on your signal tonight. We're seeing what we can do about it. I kind of feel like I'm Amazon Prime carrying the NFL last night. I watched that game last night, and I got a lot of buffering on that, so I don't feel so bad. We're like the big boys.
Hello, friends, and welcome football.
And we'll send it over to the public address announcer.
Conference football game between the visiting Colfax Vikings and your Spring Valley Cardinals. Yeah! Spring Valley High School, Colfax High School, and the WIAA require good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators at education-based interscholastic events. We request your cooperation in supporting the participants and officials. Profanity, racial, sexist, or ethnic comments, or other intimidating or taunting actions will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Please enjoy the game in a positive manner. Prior to the game, the Cardinals won the coin toss and have elected to defer to the second half. The Vikings will be receiving and defending the north end zone. Now to introduce tonight's teams. Please turn your attention to the north end zone and welcome the Colfax Vikings, who have chosen to be introduced as a team. Vikings are coached by Joe Veronic, assisted by Chad Evenson, Gideon St. Aubin, and Jacob Steinke. Now to introduce the starting defensive team for Coach Ryan Capping's Cardinals. Number 3, a sophomore, Taylor Dreyfus. Number 6, a junior, Caden Robilia. Number 8, a senior, Justin Riley. Number 10, a sophomore, Cade Stashik. Number 25, a junior, Diego Schmidt. Number 40, a senior, Cole Steinmeier. Number 44, a junior, Jameson Bauer. Number 52, a senior, Walter Olstead. Number 58, a senior, Dodge Samper. Number 67, a junior, Jack Madison. And number 68, a junior, Joel Anderson. Coach Captain is assisted by Patrick Holton, Jed Schlegel, Troy Russell, Nate Fesenmeyer, and Jeff Thompson. I have a pair. Every day I don't Now, if you were able, will you please rise and move your hats as members of the Spring Valley High School Treble Choir, under the direction of Miss Debbie Jillick, sings our national anthem.
And that's the Spring Valley Treble Choir giving us our national anthem. And we'll be back with the starting kickoff of tonight's game. Following this brief timeout, you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Banking on relationships.
Dairy State Bank's mobile app gives you full control of your finances. Misplace your debit card? Simply turn it off and no one else can use it. When you find the card, you turn it back on. You can also set spending limits. Great if your kids have a card. These and other features like mobile deposit let you bank from anywhere, anytime. Dairy State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
And we're back here in Spring Valley. And the Spring Valley Cardinals are getting ready to kick off to the Vikings. Teeing the ball up is Cade Stashik, sophomore. And according to the roster, he kind of does everything. He's a quarterback, defensive back, running back, place kicker, kick returner, and punt returner.
Gets a little bit of everything.
He does. He doesn't leave the field very often. Stashik has the ball teed up. Here's the kick, and it's coming down to Beekner, I think. And he gets taken down. I'll check that. That was Pekka. Down around the 25-yard line. And the Vikings will take over 1st and 10 right there. I check that. It's a 30. We have a long way to look towards that end of the field where Dan and I are located. Chris, our cameraman, is right about midfield. He's on about the 45-yard line. We're sitting on the other 25-yard line. Vikings at the line of scrimmage. Pekka the setback. And the give straight up the middle to Pekka, and he gets forward to about the 35-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about 5, 2nd and 5.
Yeah, that's what Colfax is going to need tonight is the push from the front line.
And again, tonight is going to be one of those games, kind of like last week, in that they have to do everything they can to keep the Spring Valley offense off the field. Ralph is split out wide to the left. Anderson in motion, giving up the middle again to Pekka, and he got hit at the line of scrimmage, and that's all he got. It's going to be no gain. In fact, they're going to give him a loss of a yard. 3rd and 6 for the Vikings.
Yeah, it wasn't a clean handoff by Tuchel there.
And as usual for a Friday night this year, everything's wet. And so Ralph split out wide to the right. They put a player in motion. That's Hovde, and he's coming around the right end. He got across the 35 out to about the 37-yard line. Make it the 36. It's going to bring up 4th down and about 4.
Yeah, like you're saying, clock management's going to be a big part of this game for Colfax tonight.
Yeah, ball control. And, of course, they start with a 3 and out. Back deep to receive for Spring Valley is Justin Riley. And a fake punt.
He dropped it.
And, well, and as we have Charlo on the roster. We didn't have him on our roster.
Yeah.
So, Spring Valley has the ball at about the 30-yard line of the Vikings. They put a man in motion, pitch to Riley going around the left end, and he's still on his feet, finally gets met. Taken down for a gain of about 3, it looks like, from here.
Riley on the carry for the Cardinals.
That's going to be more than that.
Solberg on the tackle for Colfax.
2nd and 5 where they spot the ball. It's on the 25 of the Vikings. Cardinals come up to the line of scrimmage. Stashik ducks in under center. Now he's changing things at the line of scrimmage. Riley goes back into the wing formation. Puts another man in motion. Gives straight up the middle. And that's Diego Schmidt. And he gets it down to around the 10-yard line. Or the 16-yard line. Like I say, we've got a really bad angle on it from here. But it's 1st and 10 from the 16.
Yeah, the defensive four for Colfax is going to have to really step it up to handle this rushing attack.
Stashik brings him up to the line. Give to Schmidt, straight up the middle. He cuts it off to the right side towards the goal line. And he doesn't get in, but he gets it down inside the 5.
Schmidt carries again for the Cardinals.
They're going to put it on the 4.
Colfax 10-yard line, tackled by Dockel.
Well, okay, so it's at the 9. Second down. 3 yards to go. Again, Schmidt on the carry, slips and goes down after a short gain.
Schmidt carries for a Cardinal first down inside the 5
But it's enough for the first down. He's down to about the 5-yard line.
Brings up first and goal for the Cardinals.
Spring Valley ball, first and goal. They put a man in motion. Again, Schmidt takes it into the end zone for the Spring Valley touchdown. So the Spring Valley Cardinals draw first blood. Makes the score Spring Valley 6 and the Vikings nothing. And if you hadn't been able to tell, we are right next to the Spring Valley student section. Stashik to try to kick the extra point. Snap, plays, picked it up. It was a bad place, and he takes off towards the end zone and does not get in. That ball was carried by Trevor Forster. And so the extra point attempt is no good. Score remains Spring Valley 6, Vikings nothing. And you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Hello guys and ghouls. Be sure to join me in my feeds at NLWN-TV for our second annual Halloween Spectacular, where we will bring you some of the best in Halloween-themed old-time radio programs. We will include Father Knows Best, Fibber McGee and Molly, Suspense, and we'll wrap it all up with the Mercury Theater on the air's presentation of Dracula. That's all on Halloween night, Monday, October 31st at 7 p.m. on NLWN-TV.
Back here at Spring Valley, as the Cardinals have just taken a 6-0 lead with 7:44 to go in the first quarter. Stashik has the ball teed up to kick it off to the Vikings. Hovde and Pekka are back deep. And the kick is coming down to Pekka. He takes it straight up, cuts over to the left, and gets corralled down around the 20-yard line. Or check that. It's the 30-yard line. I make it the 35. Again, we have lousy angles. All right, Vikings come up to the line. Ralph splits out wide to the right. Hovde in motion. Gives straight up the middle, and Pekka finds very little running room. Gain of maybe 2. Second down 8.
Yeah, Spring Valley has number 58, Big Dodge Samper in the middle. They'll have to try to run away from him a little bit.
Tusho flings it out to Hovde, who gets it out to about the 43-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and 2. Vikings come up to the line. Ralph splits out wide to the left. Pekka in the backfield. Anderson in motion. Give to Pekka straight up the middle. He drives forward. He's close. He's not got it, though. Very short gain, actually. 4th down, 2 yards to go for the Vikings. Vikings are going to go for it from their own territory inside the 45-yard line. Give to Hovde, and he gets met in the backfield. Back at about the 40-yard line, and the ball's going to go over on downs.
Hovde carries and is stopped for a loss on the play by...
It'll be 1st and 10, Spring Valley. Vikings tried to make a statement play, and they didn't get the statement.
Yeah, I kind of understand the call, but I think it was armchair quarterback here. Maybe it was a little too early in the game.
Spring Valley at the Viking 41. They put a man in motion, give it to Schmidt up the middle. He gets met right near the line of scrimmage. Gained about a yard, if that.
Schmidt carries. Down for no gain.
It's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
So 2nd and long.
Diego Schmidt, the leading ball carrier for Spring Valley. Spring Valley comes up to the line. Hagelson splits out wide to the right. They put a man in motion. Give going around the right end to the slot back, and that was Tanner Dykus. He gets it down to about the 40-yard line.
Yeah, good open field tackle by Pekka.
So 3rd down, about 4 yards to go. Cardinals up to the line. Robella split out wide to the left. Give straight up the middle, and Schmidt did not get the first down. He did get across the 40, but just the nose of the football across the 40. Brings up 4th down, and still 4 yards to go.
Yeah, this would be a big stop for Colfax right here. Although I think every play is going to be a big one for Colfax tonight.
That could be the case. All right, Cardinals at the line. They put a man in motion. Quick pitch to Riley, I think that is. Yes, Justin Riley gets around the outside. He's close to the first down. And he got the first down. They're going to put the ball on about the 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for Spring Valley. Cardinals come up to the line. Hagelson splitting out wide to the left. And the quarterback keeper this time, straight up the middle, and not a whole lot there. Stashik on the, and they're going to put it right on the 25. So a gain of a yard.
This would be a good time for a blitz.
All right, they send receivers split out wide to both sides. Hagelson to the right. Robella to the left. Rolling out is Stashik, and he hit Riley, who got hit immediately on the play down around the 12, 13-yard line.
Yeah, good hit by Hovde for Colfax.
1st and 10 at the 16. Cardinals come up to the line. Robella Tight on the left side. They put Riley in motion. They go straight up the middle, and Stashik doesn't get anywhere.
Colton Hoffman on the tackle for Colfax.
Brings up second down. And about 9. They're going to give him a gain of a yard. Cardinals split a receiver out wide. That's Hagelson on the left side. They put a man in motion, give it straight up the middle to Schmidt. Takes it off the right side for a short gain.
Schmidt carries forward, tripped up nice.
And he gets down around the 17-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like they're putting it on the 15. Oh, no, they're not. On the 8.
Third down, 2 yards to go. Riley in motion. We get a penalty flag.
See if they get Hedela.
Dylan Hedela likes to shoot that gap and see if he can force a turnover, and that time he was just a tad bit early on shooting the gap.
Ball spotted just inside the Colfax 5-yard line.
They're at the line of scrimmage. Schmidt the setback. Stashik gives to Schmidt, drives into the end zone for a Spring Valley touchdown.
It is in for a Cardinal touchdown.
Makes the score Spring Valley 12 and the Vikings nothing. 1:04 remaining in the first quarter. And it looks like Spring Valley is going to go for 2 this time because they moved the ball over to the hash mark, over to the left hash. They come up to the line of scrimmage. Stashik in the pistol. Takes the snap. He takes it himself going around the right end. And we have whistles blowing. Penalty marker over on the far side.
It's like a false start.
And it's going to be a false start. You're right, Dan. So it's going to come from the 8-yard line now instead of the 3. They come up to the line of scrimmage, basically the same formation. They send Rebella out wide to the right. This is a run-pass option. Stashik looking towards the end zone, turns, keeps it himself, and gets taken down shy of the end zone. So the score remains Spring Valley 12 and the Vikings nothing. And you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
Stashik teeing the ball up for the Cardinals, getting ready to kick back to the Vikings as they've opened up a 12-0 lead. 1:04 remaining in the first quarter. Hovde and Pekka back deep for the Vikings. Stashik approaches the ball, line drive kick, heading toward the sideline, and it goes out of bounds. So the Vikings going to get some decent field position out of this. And this is one of those that it's really hard to keep track of because every level of football treats this differently. So we'll see where they put the ball. I think it's coming out to the 35-yard line where it'll be first down for the Vikings. All right, Vikings come up to the line. Eli Ralph split out wide. He's on the right side. Hovde goes in motion. They give it up the middle to Pekka. He drives forward for a gain of about a yard. Or check that. That was Beekner in the backfield, not Pekka this time.
Second and 8 for the Vikings.
So a second down 8. Vikings at the line. Tuchel waiting for the snap. He takes it, drops back, looking downfield, throws it over to Ralph, and it's incomplete. Ralph was well covered on that play.
Possibly a little bump.
A little early that time, maybe.
It was close.
Must not have been. There's no laundry on the field. Third down 9.
Can't throw the challenge flag in high school.
You can't on that play anymore anyway. Tuchel drops back, looking out over the middle. Ball is almost intercepted. It was almost completed to Hoffman and almost taken out of his hands by Stashik. It's going to bring up fourth down. So Charlo goes in to punt formation for the Vikings. Stashik and Riley dropping back.
Charlo back to punt for the Vikings.
Ball rolls back to Charlo. He does get the kick away. Comes down to Stashik at the 34-yard line. He goes around the right end. He's across the 45. Taken down right about midfield. And they're going to put it right on the 50-yard line. So it's going to be first and 10 for the Cardinals.
Vikings. So first and 10 Cardinals.
Yeah, I thought the Cardinals would just stick to the run game, but they have made a couple passes tonight so far.
And they do run about 90% of their yards are through on the ground. Stashik brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Dyke is splitting out real wide to the left side. Giving straight up the middle to Schmidt, and he gets across the 45 down to about the 44. They're going to put it right on the 45. It's going to bring up second down 5, and that's the end of the first quarter. So with the score, Spring Valley 12, Vikings nothing. You are tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Colfax High School football action is coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Coming up on Friday, September 23rd, the Colfax Vikings will host the Turtle Lake Lakers from Colfax High School. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking pregame. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, September 23rd on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
And we're back here at Spring Valley, where the Cardinals have a 12-0 lead as we're getting ready to start the second quarter. And as I was just saying to Dan, at least now the ball will be in front of us. Cardinals come up to the line of scrimmage. Dykes on the left. Gives straight up the middle to Schmidt, and he gets it down to about the 42-yard line. It's going to bring up third down and a couple.
Yeah, I don't have to squint for numbers right now.
Helgeson splits out wide to the left. Schmidt the tailback. Give to Schmidt. No, give it on around. This is Riley, and he's got the corner turned. He's down to the 10. He's in the end zone. Justin Riley.
42 yards for a Cardinal touchdown.
Takes it to the house for the Cardinals. 42-yard touchdown run makes it 18-0 for Spring Valley.
Yeah, good job by Spring Valley offense to seal off that left edge.
Spring Valley comes up to the line. They're going to go for two. They have the double wing formation. Give up the middle to Schmidt, and he doesn't get there. He got tackled right at the line of scrimmage. So the score remains Spring Valley 18, Vikings 0. You're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform like you want, you first need to know about your soil. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 715-586-1302. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
And we're getting ready to kick off here. You know, every high school football field has its own personality, and the thing I find interesting about this one is on the end of the field where the Vikings are right now, it's completely encircled by vehicles. Pickups backed up to the ropes here, and people using those as their luxury suites. And it's all the way around. At least that end of the field.
Yeah, got their own tailgate party right
here. And the kick comes down to Ralph, and he gets it out across the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
Ralph returns the kickoff for the Vikings.
It'll be first down for the Vikings at their own 33. Yeah, starting at that tower that you see across the field, going to the right, and then around through the end zone to the corner of the end zone. It's all vehicles, and then coming up the near side here, it's all people in lawn chairs and standing by the rope. They do have nice sets of bleachers just off to our left.
Yeah, there's a nice crowd tonight. But there's also a lot going on in town tonight, too.
Yeah, it's a busy time in Dam Days here in Spring Valley.
It'll be kind of neat, Rick. I've never been on top of that berm over there, the big dam.
There are places you can go up there.
Is there?
All right, Vikings at the line of scrimmage. Pekka goes in motion. They give it to Anderson coming around the left side. He gets it across the 35 out to about the 36-yard line.
Anderson carries for Colfax.
It's going to be a gain of about 3 for a second down 7.
Second and 7 for the Vikings.
Beekner is the setback. Pekka on the wing on the left. Anderson wing on the right. Quick toss out to Hoffman on the left side, and he gets it down across the 40 down to about the 38-yard line. He's about a yard shy of the first down.
Yeah, that might help Tusha a little bit. Those quick passes, get rid of the ball real quick, get it out in space, and see if they can pick up some yards.
It's the 42-yard line, not the 38. All right, they come up to the line of scrimmage. A give to Anderson going around the left side. He's driving towards that 45-yard line. He does have enough for the first down. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the first down for the Vikings today.
Yeah, maybe they notice something on that left side.
They break the huddle. Hoffman in the slot on the right. Ralph split out wide to the right. Anderson in motion. They give it to Beekner, and he gets it for a gain of about a yard. He took it straight up the middle and cut it to the left. It looked like a stray Spring Valley arm reached out and tripped him up.
Yeah, that's one thing Spring Valley does, jumps in to that Colfax offense.
All right, Vikings up to the line. Again, slot receiver out on the right side. Quick toss to Ralph. He takes off across the 50, or he's right about at the 50. Just into Spring Valley territory. At the 49-yard line. It's going to bring up third and a couple.
Spotted inside of Cardinal territory. It's a 3rd and 3 for the Vikings.
Vikings at the line. Hoffman split wide, this time on the left side. Give to Anderson. He turns it up the left side, and he gets taken down for a loss back in Viking territory at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, number 53.
Make it in Parsons.
Make it in Parsons kind of stretched that one out for Spring Valley.
Nice line by the public address announcer. He was taken down by a flock of Cardinals. Vikings at the line of scrimmage. Tuchel drops back, looking down in the flat. He's got Hovde, who makes, no, he can't hang on. He bobbled it a little bit, then got hit and separated from the ball.
Tuchel's pass intended for Hovde is
brings up 4th down and about 5.
Yeah, Hovde didn't have a good handle on it when he caught it.
Which gives the ball to the Cardinals at the Colfax 49-yard line.
Part of that is trying to catch the ball with a club on one hand. And he bobbled it a little bit. A ball went over on downs, I'm sorry. That's right, that was a 4th down play. So Spring Valley up to the line. Stashik brings him up. And we have a whistle and a timeout being called by the Vikings. So with a timeout on the field. You're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
We're back here at Spring Valley in the shadow of the dam, which we can't see now because it's just gotten dark enough. Spring Valley comes up to the line. They send Robella out wide to the right. Give up the middle, and there's not much there. It's going to be no gain. Second down 10.
Christian Ebert and Nick Jensen on the tackle.
And off the bottom of the pile was Mark Solberg, and Mark Solberg will be our Viking profile coming up at halftime today. Cardinals to the line of scrimmage. Dykus is split out to the right side. Looking downfield, passes incomplete, intended for Steinmeier. In and out of his hands as he tried to make a diving catch. Brings up 3rd and 10. Helgeson into the lineup, Steinmeier out. 3rd and 10. Riley splits out wide to the left. Helgeson comes out with him. Riley's in the slot. Stashik, quarterback draw, heads up the field. He's across the 40 to the 35, down to the 30. He's still on his feet. Down to the 25 to the 23-yard line. That was a design quarterback draw all the way. Either that or it was something where he had a read and could take off on it because they had slot receivers out on both sides. Naked backfield, and Stashik took off.
Yeah, he took a big hit at the end.
1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. Stashik pitches it out. Coming around the right side is Dykus, and he gets run out of bounds. And it's going to be about the 17-yard line. Second and about 3. Maybe more like 2nd and 4. Spring Valley up to the line of scrimmage. Play clock running down. And we have a delay of game penalty being called, or timeout being called by Spring Valley. They got the timeout right before the delay of game. So 6:12 to go in the first half. And you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV by calling 715-563-1749.
We're back here at Spring Valley. Again, I want to apologize to people trying to watch the live stream because we are having some, in fact, our stream ended according to this. So we'll see if we can't get it back. Give straight. No, pitch out going around the left side, and taken down is Riley going around the left end, and he's back at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, good job with number 22, Cade Anderson, to get in the backfield, get the tackle.
Spring Valley up to the line of scrimmage. Straight up the middle. That's close to a first down. There was some loose ball down in there.
Let's see if they have to measure.
Officials timeout for a measurement.
And they got it by a half a football.
And I think we might have our stream back. Our live stream on YouTube. I don't know what the problem was with it earlier. Spring Valley up to the line. Give to Schmidt straight up the middle. He finds a hole. He takes it into the end zone.
That's his third rushing touchdown.
It makes it 24-0 Spring Valley. All right, Spring Valley up to the line of scrimmage to try the extra point. Stashik to kick it. It's out of the hold of Forster. Snap the place, the kick, and it got there. Not by a whole lot, but it got there, making the score Spring Valley 25 and the Vikings nothing. And you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
Spring Valley teeing up the ball, getting ready to kick off to the Vikings. Really apologize to people who are trying to tune in on YouTube. And I know that we're having a lot of trouble with the streaming. Ball gets picked up by Ralph. He gets it out across the 30. Fumble. Ball's loose. I think the Vikings fell on it back at about the 27-yard line. And check that was Hovde on the return. Lost control of the ball. It was fallen on by the Vikings back at the 27-yard line. 1st and 10. Those of you trying to watch on YouTube, if you want a smoother experience, as the Vikings are at the line of scrimmage, quick toss out to the left side, intended for Hoffman, just let him downfield just a little too much. Go to our website, Northern Light Webcasting Network.com, and go to our audio service where it says to click here to listen live, because that is still working just fine. And we can see that some of you have done that.
Yeah, be like the good old days. Get a bowl of popcorn
and listen to it on the phone like it was a radio. Pitch to Pekka, and he tries to go around the right end, taken down for a gain of about a yard. So third down, and no, they're going to say about 10 yards to go for the Vikings. They're up to the line of scrimmage. Tuchel drops back, looks downfield. He's got his receiver, and it's a completed pass at about the 43-yard line. That's Hovde on the reception.
Yeah, good job by Hovde. Pass was a little behind him. He had to kind of twist his body to catch it. We'll see
so
if
the Vikings come up to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, let's see if that kind of gets them kick-started here.
Hoffman split out wide to the left. Pekka in motion. Tuchel keeps it, looking downfield, gets taken down for a sack, and they're saying he was down. The ball came loose, but he was down by contact back at the 36-yard line. That's a loss of about 6. 2nd and 16.
Yeah, I think they got something going with the passing game right now. I think they should kind of stick with it.
Vikings at the line. Tuchel looks out in the flat, has Hoffman. He dives forward. Gets it out to about the 40. They're going to mark him at the 39-yard line, gain of 3. Third down and 12 or 13. Vikings just not able to get the offense on track. Tuchel drops back, under pressure, throws it out. We have the pass intercepted. Heading down is Robella towards the end zone. And he's in. We do have a penalty marker on the play. That's in the area where it's offensive holding. So Caden Robella takes it to the house. And let's see what they're going to call. It's going to be against the Vikings. Penalty is declined. There was a holding penalty against the Vikings, and it's, of course, declined, which puts the ball into the end zone on the pick 6 by Robella. 31-0. Spring Valley on top. Stashik to try the extra point. Forster to hold. Snap, place, kick, gets up, and it got there. So, with 2:30 to go, it's Spring Valley 32, Vikings nothing, as you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcast Network and NLWN-TV.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Back at Spring Valley. As it's starting to mist again here in Spring Valley. A little bit foggy too. Not sure if that's just my glasses or if it's really foggy. Vikings set to receive. Havdi and Pekka back to deep. Stashik to kick. Kick goes toward the sideline and out of bounds. So it'll be the Vikings ball on the 35-yard line. Those of you who are trying to catch us on YouTube or have switched over to the audio service, we will rebroadcast this game later this evening when we can get it set up where we know we get a good signal. We are recording it, so we will rebroadcast it in its entirety. Vikings at the line, give straight up the middle. And out in the open, and he's on his way downfield. That's Beekner. And he found a hole off tackle on the left side and took it downfield. And they're going to mark it at about the 31-yard line. Well, they're going to make it the 32-yard line.
Yeah, kind of caught Spring Valley off guard there.
Vikings up to the line. Hoffman in the slot on the right side. They put a person in motion. Beekner again gets the carry, takes it straight up the middle and gets ahead for a couple of yards. He's down to the 30.
Yeah, I think I'd go right back to that run play.
Up to the line of scrimmage come the Vikings. Ralph splits out wide to the right. Everything else is tight for the Vikings. Havdi in motion. Give to Beaker, tries the right side this time. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Did the ball come loose?
It did.
Beekner lost the handle on the ball, and Spring Valley came up with it. That's one of those mistakes that we were talking about in the pregame show, and we talked about them last week as well. Those little mistakes that cause trouble. Just as things were looking good. 1st and 10, Spring Valley.
Yeah, Colfax is trying to run it up that middle, and Spring Valley's holding them down there.
They're on the 27-yard line. Give straight up the middle. I believe that was Schmidt on the carry. And he gained about 4. Second down, and I guess where they spotted it's going to be 2nd and 5. Cardinals back to the line. Again, straight up the middle. No, they give it to the player going around the end on the left side, and that was Riley on the carry.
Beekner on the tackle for Colfax.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 46-yard line.
Yeah.
Now it's actually starting to rain pretty good.
There's one little cell right over us right now.
Well, I'm glad we've got this awning here, Dan. And to give up or coming around the right side and being taken down. That's Dykus on the carry, and he gets it out across the Viking 45 to about the 43-yard line. And we have a timeout on the field. Timeout being called by Spring Valley Cardinals. Minute 3 to go in the first half in the downpouring rain now as you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
We're back here at a very rainy Spring Valley.
Yeah, didn't we say we haven't had a game yet? Well, except one home game.
Where there wasn't any rain, and you're right. Now the rain's starting to let up a little bit. You're right, we have an interesting view under the lights off to our right. And we have a whistle and a penalty marker on the play, a false start being called against the Spring Valley Cardinals. And again, our apologies to those of you trying to watch us on our YouTube channel. It's just not happening here for some reason. Everything says we should be getting a good signal out of here, but for some reason we never are able to out of Spring Valley. So we'll just have to learn to deal with it. We will broadcast the game in its entirety later tonight. Stashik looking downfield, intercepted by Beekner. He takes it across the 20 to the 25 to the 30. He's got some room to run. He's out across the 40. He's across the 50 and into Spring Valley territory, taken down at about the 45-yard line. Drew Beekner with the interception.
Yeah, good job by Beekner just to drift back into coverage and get the interception.
So the Vikings come up to the line of scrimmage with 45 seconds to go in the first half. Ralph is split out wide to the right. Tuchel looking over to his left. He's got Hovde, but incomplete. He just overthrew him a little bit.
Yeah,
let him a little bit too much.
Hovde had the defense beat.
Yeah, he had him. He had a step or two beyond the cornerback. If they make that connection, it's 6 points. Second down, 10. Tuchel brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Again, Ralph split out wide to the right. Hovde, the wing on the left. And we have a whistle and a timeout call by the Vikings. What a difference it would make, Dan, if the Vikings can get on the board before halftime.
Yeah, that'd make a big morale boost right there if they could do that.
You know, you said there's one cell going over us. It's got till the end of the game to get over us. So when we take everything apart at the end of the game, we don't end up as drowned rats.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll just have Chris pull us home like this.
And Chris is over in the stands over about, he's about 20 yards, 25 yards off to our right. But he has an awning over him. And I keep hearing splashes of rainwater coming off our awning. We do have a pole holding it up in the middle, trying to get it to drain away. Seems to be working. Everything's falling away from where we are. Vikings at the line of scrimmage. Put Anderson in motion. Tuchel rolls to his right. Looks downfield. Hovde's got it and gets taken down around the 40-yard line.
Yeah, good play there by Colfax. They had a little misdirection out there, and Hovde became open.
3rd and a yard. Tuchel ducks in under center. Drops back. Floats it downfield. Overthrows and intercepted by Stashik. And taken down. It was intended for Ralph. Stashik on the interception, back down around the 15-yard line. 6 seconds remaining in the half. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we have a Viking profile, another halftime entertainment for you. And Spring Valley takes a knee, and that takes us to halftime. So we've completed the first half with Spring Valley opening up a commanding 32-0 lead over the Vikings. Stay with us, because coming up in just a moment, we have Viking halftime. You're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Being prepared is a part of who you are. But it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Time now for Viking Halftime with this week's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter which you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we get to know one of this season's Colfax Viking players. And now Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're talking with Mark Solberg, a senior here at Colfax High School. And Mark, we know you play football, but what are some other activities at school that you're involved with?
Only other activities I'm involved in is powerlifting.
Okay, that's a good one though. Now, when did you start playing football?
I first started back in 2nd and 3rd grade whenever flag football started. Really enjoyed it, so I stuck with it.
And so it's been a good experience?
Yes, it has.
So what's the most important thing that you've learned playing football? You've been at it for quite a while.
Everybody's got to be a team on the same page. You can't do anything individually on the field. You need all 11 people synchronized.
It's kind of like a machine.
Yep.
Okay. So when you're not playing football or you're not at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
Hunting, fishing, working on my family farm, kind of stuff outside.
Okay. Rapid fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Pie.
And the kind?
Apple.
Okay, the American standby. And your favorite NFL team?
Packers for sure.
All right, and your favorite collegiate team?
No clue.
No clue, okay.
No clue. Not really involved.
All right. If you had a superpower, what do you think it would be and why?
Super strength, for sure.
Okay, and if Mark had super strength, you got to have a superhero name to go along with that. What would that be?
Marvelous Mark.
Marvelous Mark. I like that one. Okay. All right. We're talking with Mark Solberg today on Viking Profile. And Mark, what are your plans for after high school?
Probably going to CVTC for something.
For something?
Something. Don't know yet.
They'll have something there for you.
For sure.
I'm sure they have degrees in something.
Yep.
And how about a shout out to your family?
Shout out to my mom and dad for helping me and raising me throughout these years of football.
Okay, and when people come to Viking games, what number are they looking for and where are they going to find you?
I'll be wearing number 51. They'll find me at right guard.
All right. We want to thank Mark Solberg for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been tuned to Viking Profile, where we get to know one of this season's Colfax Viking players. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned as more Viking Halftime is coming right up.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
Don't stop.
You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
And we're back here at Spring Valley, getting ready to get the second half underway. Both teams are warming up, and the officials are back on the field. The chain gang's coming back across the field, and we're just about ready to get things going. Spring Valley Cardinals have opened up a 32-0 lead over the Vikings. Dan, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I liked what I saw in the pass game for Colfax. We really haven't seen a lot of that this year. And some of them went for some good yardage. Some didn't go for a lot of yards, but there was yardage. You know, the last one was an interception, overthrown. But otherwise, I thought that was a good idea to kind of go away for the run for a little bit.
Especially since they're just totally keying on whoever the setback is. Especially when Pekka's lined up as the tailback. But even when Beekner is back there, they just load up the box and say, dare you to throw it. And so now the Vikings are taking that dare and finding a little bit of success with it.
Right. Yeah, I think the coach for Colfax, you know, has seen a couple things. You know, the Spring Valley right side of the line, I think he has found something over there. And I think that he can make some adjustments here in the second half to try to pick us some extra yards.
So the Vikings will be kicking off to Spring Valley to start the second half. And Dan and I were talking while still during halftime that we are one Spring Valley score away from running time. And it's coming down again really hard here in Spring Valley. As you can see it in the lights now when Chris pulls back like that. Fortunately, we're under a tarp that keeps dumping about a gallon of water off each side every now and then.
Yeah, we got a nice backdrop.
So here comes Beekner to kick off. And it's taken by one of the up men by Spring Valley. That's Robella. And he gets out to across the 50 to about the 45-yard line of the Vikings. And they're going to mark it at the 43-yard line.
Trevor Forster.
Forster, check that. It wasn't Robella. It was Forster. So, 1st and 10 for Spring Valley. Cardinals come up to the line of scrimmage. Give up off the left side. No, keeping it himself around the left side is Stashik, and he gets it across the 35 down to about the 33. Gain of just about 10. Act is going to be a gain of 11 down to the 31-yard line.
That's one thing that Colfax does have to work on, trying to keep those edges sealed.
Cardinals up to the line. Stashik ducks in under center. Riley in motion. Comes back. And to give up the middle to Schmidt. He gets it down across the 25, down to about the 24-yard line. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 3. Just underway in the third quarter. Spring Valley driving, as is the rain. Schmidt the setback.
He shows blitz.
And he comes and they run the option to the outside on the left side. Pitch to Riley, heading on his feet down inside the 10-yard line. Down to about the 6. First and goal for Spring Valley from the Vikings 6.
Inside the Colfax 10-yard line, first and goal for the Cardinals.
Cardinals come up to the line. Stashik ducks under center. Gives straight up the middle to Schmidt. He drives it forward, keeps driving, gets it down to about the 2-yard line. Gain of 4. 2nd and goal. Vikings trying to keep the Cardinals out of the end zone. Have they done that yet tonight, Dan? Have they forced the Cardinals to punt yet?
I don't think so. Yeah, it's a big stopper.
They had an interception. Give straight up the middle. Schmidt driving forward, and he's in the end zone for the touchdown.
Carries forward for a Cardinal touchdown.
That makes it 38-0 Spring Valley. And now the rain is really coming. Stashik to try the extra point. Forster to hold. There's a snap. It's low. Forster picks it up. Brings it around to the right. Throws it towards the end zone. And into the end zone. It's complete. Pass complete to Jamison Bauer. And the extra point attempt is good. Making the score Spring Valley 40 and the Vikings nothing. You're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Back here at rain-drenched Spring Valley. It is really coming down. I'd be worried about the dam that's over next to us here, Dan. There's a lot of water coming into that lake. Stashik ready to kick off to the Vikings. He kicks it short. Ball goes through the hands of Ralph and fallen on by Spring Valley.
Stashik's kickoff is fumbled on the play.
And it's picked up by Forster for Spring Valley at the 42-yard line. So Spring Valley has the ball, and we should be in running time. Spring Valley at the line. And we have a whistle and a timeout called by the Vikings. So a timeout on the field, 8:20 to go in the third quarter. Spring Valley 40, Vikings nothing. You're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Banking on relationships.
Dairy State Bank's mobile app gives you full control of your finances. Misplace your debit card? Simply turn it off and no one else can use it. When you find the card, you turn it back on. You can also set spending limits. Great if your kids have a card. These and other features like mobile deposit let you bank from anywhere, anytime. Dairy State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Dairy State Bank.
To get your lawn or garden to perform like you want, you first need to know about your soil. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 715-586-1302. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
Stashik leads the Cardinals out to the line. Gives straight up the middle and taken down for a short gain. Trying to catch the number of who that was. I think we have some new bodies out there now. Okay, we had a little bit of difficulty with our generator, but we have that going again.
Yeah.
And
rain's starting to lighten up.
Our scoreboard camera has gone kaput on us.
Everything's getting a little damp up here.
Well, I think that happened when the generator quit. We're working on it.
All right, so Spring Valley will come to the line. Put a man in motion. Not much there. Christian Ebert on the tackle for Colfax. Second
okay,
down.
we have it now.
Yeah.
Scoreboard's back.
Scoreboard's back. Generator's back. Rain stopped. All we need is a turnover and a touchdown for Colfax.
4:47 to go in the third quarter. Lots of new bodies out there for Spring Valley, but Stashik still at quarterback. Give straight up the middle. Nope, Stashik kept it himself and took it off tackle on the right side, and gain down to about the 22-yard line. It's going to bring third and a long yard. Cardinals come up to the line. They put a man in motion. Quick pitch. That's Rabella taking it around the left end, and he got hung up, and I'm not sure he got the first down. I think it's going to be a fourth down. I don't think he made it to the marker. Very short gain. Fourth down and about a half a yard to go. And I'm getting some weird noises, and Dan says he's getting some weird noises. Again, welcome to rainy weather.
Yeah, just have to live with it.
Straight up the middle. Carry by Forster. And he gets it down to about the 14-yard line. First down, Spring Valley. Up to the line of scrimmage, Helgeson splits out wide to the right. Gives straight up the no. Stashik keeps it himself and took it off to the right side for a little gain. He gained about a yard. Second down and a long 8, short 9. All right, Spring Valley up to the line. They put a man in motion. Stashik keeps himself off the right side. He gets it down inside the 5 to about the 4-yard line. That's real close to a first down. It's going to be third and about a yard. Cardinals up to the line. That's Helgeson split out wide to the right. Steinmeier also on the right in the slot. Quick pitch going around to the right side to Dacus, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Tanner Dacus takes it into the end zone, making it 46-0 Spring Valley. And again, Stashik to try the extra point. Out of the hole to Forrester. Snap to place the kick. And that one's blocked. A little bit of wet field conditions got Stashik that time. So with 56 seconds remaining in the third quarter, it's Spring Valley 46 and the Vikings nothing. and you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform like you want, you first need to know about your soil. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 715-586-1302. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
Hello guys and ghouls. Be sure to join me in my feeds at NLWN-TV for our second annual Halloween Spectacular, where we will bring you some of the best in Halloween-themed old-time radio programs. We will include Father Knows Best, Fibber McGee and Molly, Suspense, and we'll wrap it all up with the Mercury Theater on the air's presentation of Dracula. That's all on Halloween night, Monday, October 31st at 7 p.m. on NLWN-TV.
Short kickoff, handed off, and ball is lost, and Spring Valley has it. Beekner had it, handed it off to Hovde, and Hovde lost the handle on it, and Spring Valley came up with the ball. Turnovers have been a big bugaboo for the Vikings tonight.
Yeah, and it gives them a short field.
That club on the end of Hovde's arm is causing him some problems tonight. Wet field conditions, slippery ball. He just doesn't have the use of that hand. So Spring Valley up to the line. We have a new quarterback in there. And I think, oh, that's the number.
19.
Wyatt Smith. He's a freshman, and we have a timeout on the field. That's the end of the third quarter. That's why it's a timeout on the field. Score, Spring Valley 46, and the Vikings nothing, and you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Colfax High School football action is coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Coming up on Friday, September 23rd, the Colfax Vikings will host the Turtle Lake Lakers from Colfax High School. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking pregame. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, September 23rd on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
And we're back here at Spring Valley as the Cardinals come up to the line of scrimmage. Wyatt Smith at quarterback. Split out wide is Elliott Haug, and Smith doesn't really get much of a chance to get things going as he lost the handle on the ball, fell on it. So a little bit of a loss on the play. Back to about the, looks like the 35-yard line.
New player in for Colfax, number 72, Tice Theory, a freshman.
Smith kept it himself and got up close and personal with Cameron Molina. Back outside the 40-yard line. And a pitch coming around the left end and taken down just inside the 40-yard line. Check that, that's a 35-yard line. And that was carried by Bruner, Colin Bruner.
Tackled by Theo Hovde for Colfax.
4th down. About 11 yards to go. Spring Valley at the line. Quick pitch around the end to Hallstatt, and he gets taken down outside the 30. Hovde on the tackle.
Looks like we got a hold on the play.
This will be declined. Holding against Spring Valley, and it's going to be declined. And the ball will go over on downs to the Vikings.
1st and 10 Vikings.
4th quarter, running clock.
From their own 31-yard line.
And Spring Valley brings out a defensive squad that has pretty much clean uniforms. So a lot of younger kids getting a chance to play. Vikings come up to the line. Tuchel ducking in under center. Giving up the middle and driving forward. Strong run by Beekner.
Pekka on the carry. Tackled by Bruner for the Cardinals.
The announcer here said it was Pekka. I thought it was 32, not 33. I don't know if you see different, Dan.
New player in for Colfax, number 54, Junior Drake Knutson.
Vikings at the line. Give again, and Pekka on the carry. He gets it out to the about the 35-yard line.
Anderson.
39-yard line. Third down, about 3. Give straight up the middle. Ball's loose.
Spring Valley says it.
And I believe Spring Valley came up with the turnover.
Pekka comes off a little gingerly.
1st and 10 for the Cardinals.
That's got to be about 5 turnovers, maybe 6 by the Vikings. All right, Cardinals up to the line. Again, this is Smith at quarterback. Pitches it around the end to Hallstatt, going around the right side, keeps his feet. And
Hallstatt with the carry.
he's going to be taken down around the 35-yard line. And we have a whistle. And the Vikings call timeout. So with timeout on the field, it's Spring Valley 46, Vikings nothing. You're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
.707 to go in tonight's ball game. At least the rain has stopped, Dan.
Yeah.
Spring Valley at the line. Give straight up the middle, and not much there. They slide it off the right side for a gain of a couple.
Kaler carries for a Cardinal first down.
Carter Kaler on the carry. That's a bit of an alliteration. Carter Kaler on the carry. At least it's an audio alliteration. Up to the line of scrimmage comes Spring Valley. Splitting out wide is Hogg. giving it, coming around the left end and taken down hard is Colin Bruner.
Hovde is getting a lot of work tonight for Colfax. Another tackle for him.
Brings up second down for the Cardinals.
Cardinals come up to the line. .552 to go. Give off the right side. That's Kaler again on the carry.
Kaler carries forward.
Colton Hoffman on the tackle.
Kaler with the Cardinal carry.
Brings up third and short.
Well, you can tell that this game's pretty unsuspenseful when I start going into alliterations. 5:21, Vikings down 46-0. Give to Kaler again. Penalty flag goes flying. Kaler tries that right side.
Looks like we got a false start.
Ball starts the call against Spring Valley. So that's going to make it 3rd and 7 instead of 3rd and 2.
Small back 5 yards, makes a third down for the Cardinals.
Smith giving it off the right side again. This time, Forster on the carry. And fourth down, about 5. There's some numbers in there that we don't have for Spring Valley. Smith gives it on the wing, coming around the left side. He's got a clear path and heading into the end zone for a Spring Valley touchdown. Colin Bruner with his touchdown run. That makes it 52-0 Spring Valley with 3:39 to go. Spring Valley coming up to the line to go for the extra point. They're going to go for 2 here. Smith ducks in under center. Pitch going around the right end, heading towards the end zone, and he's in. That was Charlie Halstead on the carry. He gets a 2-point conversion, making it 54-0 Spring Valley over the Vikings. And we'll be back with the last 3:39 right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. And getting ready to kick off is Connor Erickson for Spring Valley. Hovde is back deep to receive. Pekka has moved up into the next row up. Here's the kick, taken by Beekner. He's got a little bit of room, gets it up across the 40-yard line, or right out near the 40-yard line. And first and 10 for the Vikings on the 40. We will have an abbreviated Viking post game following this game. And they give up the middle and some running room for Pekka. He's down across the 40 to the 35, down to the 30, and he gets taken out of bounds at right around the 20-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 23.
Ian Hakes on the tackle for Spring Valley.
So that's a 27-yard run. And to give up the middle, Pekka drives forward and gets it down to the 21-yard line. 2-yard gain, second down 8. Vikings at the line. Charlo is splitting out wide to the right side. Quick toss to Charlo on the right side. He's got a little bit of room, gets it down across the 15, down to about the 13-yard line. And it should be enough for a Viking first down. Just over a minute, Vikings would like to put some points on the board. They're at the line of scrimmage. Pitch to Anderson going around the left end, and he's hauled down at the 15. Check that, that's a 10-yard line. They're going to make it at the 11. 43 seconds remaining.
56, Connor Erickson on the tackle.
Vikings up to the line. Quick toss. Behind Charlo, falls incomplete. And the Vikings want to call a timeout. They do want to try and get a score on the board with 20 seconds remaining. We'll keep it right here coming up on Viking postgame. Dan is going to summarize all the scoring, and unfortunately it's all on the wrong side tonight. And we'll talk a little bit about this. And because of our broadcast position tonight, we will not have Coach Branett coming up to join us. But the good news is the rain has stopped, so pack up tonight shouldn't be too bad.
Oh, getting used to coming in the rain to a football game.
It's been that way all season for us.
It's better than the white stuff right now.
That's true. Vikings at the line. Hoffman split out wide to the left. Charlo to the right. Throw towards the end zone. Charlo with a touchdown, Vikings! And they do get points on the board with 14 seconds to go. It's Spring Valley 54 and Vikings 6. So the Vikings will attempt the extra point. Beekner to kick it. Out of the hold of Zach Hedela. Snap to place the kick. It's up! And it's no good. So the score remains Spring Valley 54, Vikings 6. And you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Vikings getting ready to kick off. Beekner to tee it up. Ethan Helgeson and Ian Hakes are back deep to receive for Spring Valley. And it's starting to rain again. And the Vikings try the onside kick. Spring Valley falls out, loose ball, and finally they pull it back in. They fell on it, but the ball squirted out from the guy falling on it, and the Vikings went for it, missed it, and the Spring Valley player, and I didn't catch his number, reached out and pulled it in, and the clock is at 0. So that is it as it starts pouring again. Final score, Spring Valley 54, Vikings 6. We'll be back with Viking postgame right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
This has been Colfax Viking football, live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network in conjunction with Colfax High School. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame, where I'll look back at today's game.
Being prepared is a part of who you are. But it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Time now for Viking Postgame, with our wrap-up of today's Colfax Vikings game. And now, back out to the stadium.
And we're back here at Spring Valley with Viking postgame as the Vikings fall to the Spring Valley Cardinals 54-6. And Dan, there were a couple of bright spots for the Vikings tonight. And there weren't very many, but there were a couple of them. One of them was a player that's new to the Viking roster and looks like he could be a pretty big contributor when all is said and done, and that's Jack Charlo.
Yeah, he definitely has the height for this team that's going to open up the playbook, I think, here going forward.
And you really saw it. Granted, they were against young players and so on, but you saw it with that pass over the middle in the end zone where his height took advantage of that. And we've watched him play basketball and know that he is a pretty strong basketball player. And so...
yeah, good hands. He ran some good routes. And maybe add him with Eli Ralph on the other side. And, yeah, that'll give a coach something to work with.
So, 54-6, Vikings fall tonight. And we'll be back right after this timeout with Dan running through the scoring of tonight's game. You're tuned to Viking Post Game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse, walk a mile in my shoes.
And we're back here at Spring Valley where the Vikings fall by a score of 54-6. Dan, why don't you run down that scoring for us?
Yeah, here's scoring in the first quarter. It was 2 touchdown runs by number 25, Diego Schmidt for Spring Valley, both 8-yard touchdown runs to give it, at the end of the first quarter, 12-0 Spring Valley. In the second quarter, they had number 8, Justin Riley, on a 42-yard run for a touchdown that made it 18-0. Then it was a very long, and number 25, Diego, came back with an 11-yard touchdown run to make it 24-0. They made the extra point. Then Colfax had the ball, and out comes number 6 for Spring Valley, who is Caden Robelia, with interception and runs it in for a touchdown. They make the extra point, and that made it 32-0. Then into the third quarter, number 25, Diego Schmidt, comes back with a 1-yard touchdown run to make it 40-0. Wasn't long, and number 3 for Spring Valley, Tanner Dykus, got a 4-yard touchdown run to make it 46-0. Then comes number 20, Colin Bruner, on a 20-yard touchdown run, and that for 52-0. And then they went for 2 and got that to make it 54-0. And then with just a few seconds left in the game, Colfax gets on the board with a 15-yard touchdown pass to Charlo, and which ends up making the score 54-6 is your final.
Yeah, and that's just about going to be the way it wrapped up. If that sounded like it was pretty lopsided scoring, that's the way the whole game was. If there was a break that happened in the game, it went against the Vikings tonight. And actually, to be honest with you, it was Spring Valley causing those breaks. And they just outclassed the Vikings tonight in just about every facet. Turnovers tonight, there were lots of them by the Vikings. I would say at least a half dozen, and you just don't win football games when that happens. In fact, you don't stay competitive in football games when that happens, and that's where the 54-6 scores come from.
Yeah, and you know, with Spring Valley on a run there, what are they, 3-1 so far, and this makes them 4-1, and they're definitely a team that everybody's going to be chasing.
And they aren't looking at the Dunn St. Croix title, although they wouldn't say this. They're looking at postseason, and they want to make something happen, whereas the Vikings just want to get something to go in that left-hand column on the score sheet. And so, you know, hopefully we can see something that might work that way next week. In fact, don't forget to join us on NLWN-TV, where we hope to have a much better success at the streaming. Every time we come here to Spring Valley, we have a hard time getting a signal out of here. But Join us on NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network next Friday as we bring you the Vikings taking on the Turtle Lake Lakers. Viking pregame begins at 6:40, followed by all the live play-by-play action. Hey, the Colfax Elk Mound girls golf team will compete in a match at Bloomer on Monday, and then they will compete in the conference golf tournament at Lake Hallie Golf Course on Tuesday. They will compete against Bloomer, Stanley Boyd, Mondovi, and Osseo Fairchild.
I like the sound of that.
I knew you would. The Viking volleyballers will travel to the Hudson Invitational tomorrow, with action getting underway at 9 a.m., and then they will host the Boyceville Bulldogs on Tuesday, with action beginning at 7 p.m. The Viking cross-country runners will travel to Cadott for a 4 p.m. meet on Tuesday, and then they will travel to the University of Minnesota for the Roy Gryak Invitational on Friday. Don't forget, coming up on Halloween night, the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV will present our second annual Halloween Spooktacular, featuring some of the very best classic Halloween-themed old-time radio shows. It all starts at 7 o'clock on Halloween night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Tonight's Colfax High School football game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Dr. Buckley and his friendly staff take care of your pet. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley. Anderson Bridges, who've been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT providers for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. And Fit Fam Nutrition of Colfax, with drinks that taste as good as they sound. Plus, they're healthy. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. For Dan Petchow and Chris Olson on camera, this is Rick Olson. That final score, once again, Spring Valley Cardinals 54 and the Vikings 6. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Vikings game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.